You are listening to The Vocal Technologist. Spoken tech for your ears.
Welcome back, everyone. You've sent us some really fascinating material this week.
Yeah, lots to get through.
Definitely feel like a Tech Tuesdays kind of whirlwind, you know? We're going to try and unpack some of the biggest shifts happening.
Absolutely. Our goal really is to cut through some of the noise and focus on what seems genuinely important. AI, space, even sustainable energy.
Give you that clear picture of where things might be heading. And, well, we try our best here on The Vocal Technologist.
We do.
Okay, let's unpack AI first, because honestly, the case is just incredible right now. Microsoft, for example, they're building their own foundation AI model in-house. It's called MAI-1 Preview.
Right. So not relying entirely on, say, OpenAI for their core tech. They're building their own sort of AI brain from scratch.
Exactly. And they're already testing it, apparently, on El Marina.
Which is that standard benchmark, yeah. Shows they're aiming high with performance.
Definitely. Then you've got OpenAI. What's fascinating there, I think, is GPT-realtime.
Oh, yeah, that's quite something. What's really interesting there is its focus on production-ready voice agents, reliable ones.
So moving beyond just text chatbots.
Exactly. They're talking huge improvements in following complex instructions, using tools properly, and, crucially, sounding natural, like genuinely expressive speech. They've even got new voices, Cedar and Marin.
Making it harder to tell if you're talking to a human or AI.
That seems to be the direction, yeah.
And, okay, for the developers listening, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. XAI's Grok Code Fast 1.
Ah, yes, the coding model.
Super speedy, apparently quite economical. But the key thing is this agentic coding.
Right. The AI doesn't just suggest code. It can, like, plan and execute programming tasks itself using tools like grep, the terminal, editing files.
Yeah, basically acting like a junior developer assistant that can handle common tasks autonomously. That could really change workflows.
It could. It's a different way of thinking about coding assistants.
Okay, so from that digital intelligence, let's pivot a bit. Think about big physical engineering, stuff happening in space, but also right here on Earth.
Good transition, because the scale is just as impressive. Take SpaceX and Starship economics.
Right. So what does this all mean? We hear the big launches, but the cost implications.
They're potentially revolutionary. I mean, even if Starship is fully expendable, just used, once they're projecting maybe 40% lower cost per kilogram than Falcon 9.
Than Falcon 9, which is already pretty cheap, relatively speaking.
Exactly. And if they get reuse working smoothly, the projections drop towards like a $60 per kilogram floor.
$60? That's fundamentally different.
Totally shifts the industry. Suddenly you're supply rich, price flexible. Launching hundreds of satellites becomes, almost routine. It unlocks things we probably haven't even thought of yet.
Absolutely redefines access to space. And speaking of Starship, did you see Elon Musk's plan for the first catch?
Oh, yeah. Trying to catch the booster with the tower arms.
Exactly. Targeting flight 13, 14, or 15 for the first attempt, depending on how the V3 rocket performs.
That's ambitious. High-stakes stuff.
Definitely high stakes. Now, from way up there, let's come back down to Earth. Finland and this sand battery.
Ah, the sand battery. This is really cool because it's so tangible.
Right. It's not just theory. It's industrial scale. What is it, 42 feet tall?
Yeah, 42 feet tall, 50 feet wide. And it stores up to 100 megawatt hours of thermal energy.
Which is enough to heat a whole town for, what, a week?
For a week, yeah. Using low-cost electricity, often surplus renewables, to heat sand, and then extracting that heat later. It's basically a giant thermos.
And the impact?
They reckon it cuts local heating network carbon emissions by about 70%. Plus, it can hold that heat for months, which is huge for grid balancing with intermittent renewables like wind and solar.
Okay, that's genuinely impressive. Low-tech, high impact.
Kind of, yeah. Simple concept, scaled up massively.
So all these amazing innovations, AI, space, energy, it always comes back to us, right? The human element. How are people actually using this stuff, especially AI in the workplace?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? You hear stories. Are bosses really, forcing employees to use these AI tools?
Apparently, yes. It seems many companies are mandating their use.
Which is tricky because, let's be honest, these tools often get things wrong. Especially the large language model.
Exactly. You hear about AI hallucinating facts, making up legal cases. I mean, it struggles with anything that needs real analytical thinking, creativity, or those soft skills. You can't just ask it for deep insight.
Right. It mostly just regurgitates generic stuff based on its training data. It doesn't understand in the human sense.
So if you're one of those employees, stuck using a tool that isn't quite working,
The advice seems pretty consistent. Document everything carefully. Keep records.
show where it's going wrong.
Yeah, show the problem, show the slowdown, show where the output just isn't good enough. It's partly self-protection, but it also helps provide feedback on the tool's actual limitations in a real-world setting.
Forces a more realistic look at what AI can and maybe more importantly can't do reliably right now.
Precisely.
Wow. Okay, what a journey today.
Yeah.
We've gone from AI models getting smarter and talking more naturally
To rockets getting dramatically cheaper.
to giant sand batteries heating towns, and finally how we navigate all this tech at work.
It really covers a lot of ground. And maybe leaves us with a thought to chew on.
Go on.
As all this tech gets woven deeper into our lives, into our jobs, how do we get better at judging, what it's really good at versus where its limits are? What tasks do we actually feel comfortable handing over, and what needs to stay firmly human?
A critical question. What stays in the human domain? Something for all of us to think about.
Definitely. Until next time.
Spoken Tech for your ears.